Hello, BookTube. I got only one book in the morning's mail delivery, and my first thought was, well, that's just not enough for a video, so lump it in with the afternoon's mail shipment and do them all together. And then I thought, no, let's try something a little artsy. Maybe it might be of interest. Who knows? I thought we would use this book as a case study of how I open a book, how I approach a book I get in the mail. We go through so many, hundreds of them on this channel, that I think maybe that gets blurred. And I thought maybe some of you might find it interesting if I take you through the step-by-steps of how I assess what I get. So this is the package, and it's fairly heavy. So right away I can assess that it's either multiple books or it's a finished copy or something. And that automatically gets the wheels turning. Is it a finished copy of something for which I already have read the advanced copy? Is it a finished copy of something for which where I haven't read anything about it, know anything about it? So let's see. Okay, all right. Okay, excellent. This will work just fine. So the book is Abbas Amanat's Iran, A Modern History. A lovely, gigantic, 1,000-page new thing from Yale, and it's an advanced copy, and the book itself comes out in late October. So let me read you a bit here. Let's see. This history of modern Iran is not a survey in the conventional sense, but an ambitious exploration of the story of a nation. It offers a revealing look at how events, people, and institutions are shaped by currents that sometimes reach back hundreds of years. The book covers a complex history of the diverse societies and economies of Iran against the background of the dynastic changes, revolutions, civil wars, foreign occupation, and the rise of the Islamic Republic. Abbas Amanat combines chronological and thematic approaches, exploring events with lasting implications for modern Iran and the world, drawing on diverse historical scholarship and emphasizing the 20th century. That's very important, that little note stuck in there. He addresses debates about Iran's culture and politics. Political history is the driving narrative force, giving impetus to Amanat's decades of research and study. Okay, so that all sounds really good, but it is actually the boilerplate that you use for just a standard soup to nuts comprehensive history. So although that little bit about concentrating on the present day, if it's true, so again, we're not looking at the book yet. We're just looking at the publication sheet. If that little bit is true, then politics will come into this. It won't be dispassionate history. There's no possible way that even the most bloodless 90-year-old historian could write dispassionately about the politics of Iran in the present day. And if it's not true, then the publicist is putting it in there in order to give a prospective book section editor something to think about, as opposed to, because a prospective books editor, especially someone for a newspaper, is going to want it to be connected to the present day. Otherwise, they're going to see a 1,000-page history of Iran, and they're going to think, well, okay, nowhere in my stable of writers do I have anyone who will do this. Certainly not who will do it by late October. So let me look at who the author is. Abbas Amanat is professor of history and international studies at Yale University. So this is published by his own university, and director of the Yale Program of Iranian Studies at the Macmillan Center for the International and Area Studies, and he lives in North Haven, Connecticut. No information about his background. I guess I'll just have to find that out on my own. I'm going to want to know his background. Did he leave Iran, at the revolution? Did he work there? Did he go to school there? Stuff like that. I'm going to want to know stuff like that. So October 24th, we look at that, and I those of you who might not know, in addition to being a book reviewer, I also am one of those book section editors. I'm the managing editor of a literary journal called Open Letters Monthly. And I requested this book under the aegis of Open Letters Monthly, but with an eye towards whether or not anybody at another venue might be interested in it as well. Like, for instance, I review books for an English language newspaper in Abu Dhabi, and it's entirely possible that they will be interested in a review of this for their own readership that might be more interested in the subject than for instance, the readership of Martha's Vineyard, of the Gazette, the Vineyard Gazette and Martha's Vineyard. So October 24th, and this is, almost August 24th. So that gives me some time. That gives me some time to contact editors who are only now putting together their calendar for October and November. So there's a chance for me to know whether or not they'd be interested in this. And of course, if that avenue doesn't work, I am always prepared to dance with the one that brought you. I am always prepared to review something for Open Letters Monthly, not for the main journal, the main monthly journal, because in all of 2017, I am doing an ongoing continued feature, A Year with the Tudors, the second. So the showcase, much longer pieces that stays, out and current, and we're constantly tweeting them and drawing traffic to them for a whole month. My spot on our main table of contents is already spoken for by Tudor content until the end of the year. But my colleagues at Open Letters Monthly gave me a spot. They made a spot. It's actually for anybody, but I use it quite a bit. It's called Open Letters Weekly. The reviews are shorter. They tend to be around 1,000 words, although they can be as long as I want. And we sort of hatched out Open Letters Weekly as a place where I could review more than one book a month. And so, since I read slightly more than one book a month, so this is a perfect candidate for Open Letters Weekly. And we publicize those things as well, and the publicists and publishers and authors, they look at that space. So it's where numerically speaking, it's where I do the bulk of my signed reviews. So that is certainly an option if I don't find an editor elsewhere who might want it. So let me look at the book itself. We're done with the pub sheet. It's told us everything we want to know. So let me look at the book itself. It's 1,000 pages long, and it's not translated, it looks like. So this author lives in America and writes in English. Starts off in the beginning of the 16th century, and it looks like it's going to have the back of it will be color plates. No way to know if those won't migrate to the middle of the book when the finished copy comes out. But then we want to look at the notes and the bibliography to see what it is that this person is. Okay, great. All right. I kind of expected as much. He's consulted a lot of Iranian sources, which you'd kind of want. And it looks like this advanced copy does not have the bibliography yet. It just has the endnotes. So no index and no bibliography, but that's all right. That's all right. The notes for the chapters tell me what I need to know, which is that this is comprehensive, and so for the English language, this is probably going to be a landmark work. And I can tell all that just from what I've read before I even poke one toe into the waters of the prose. I can already tell, that this is going to be very important. And then I can start to do the kind of mental arithmetic of whether or not it will be widely covered. I'm assuming that Yale got copies of this out to the big journals, the New York Times, the Wall Street Journal, the Washington Post. I'm assuming they got copies out to those journals much earlier than they got them to me. And I'm also assuming that those journals have experts, right there in the Rolodex, who might be eager to might know of this ahead of time, might be eager to tackle a book this big, or might, if they're a big enough name, perhaps not need to read every page before they write a piece for which they are paid. So Iran is in the news again. It's constantly in the news. So the book has a kind of horrible perpetual relevance. So it could get a wide readership. It could get reviewed widely. So there you go. That is the opening of one book package that just happened to be a bullseye. I am fascinated in the subject. And the book looks genuine. It looks like the real thing. The author has consulted a large amount of sources that are not typical, that are not what you'd find in the the 200-page trot of Iranian history from a smaller press. It looks like a really good marriage of an academic work and a semi-accessible scholarly work. Semi-accessible only because it's 1,000 pages long, and not every reader wants to tackle that. Fantastic. Okay, so that's that for now. I'll go, and I'll be back soon. Thank you, BookTube.